this is my dance team album made in a Creative Memories black album here. And I started this, I think, close to 15 years ago and just never finished it. So as part of video every day in August, I'm attempting to finish some of the many projects that I have started and never finished. So you can see I have this title page here. I had a formula to it which should make finishing it really easy, and I'm gonna film today where I'm at right now, and then I'll make another video where I show just the parts that I finished. So this is my title page, and it has a picture from each year that I was on dance team, and mostly they were the beginning of the year photos that we had taken, but then this last one is from state. So I did that as my title page, and then the formula, I'll show you the first year is complete, and then you'll see how I'm going to complete it. So I started, well, I'll show you in advance. I had everything all marked out with post-it notes. I went through and planned the whole album with post-it notes. I looked at all of the memorabilia and everything that I had, and also put these page protectors, which Creative Memories doesn't sell anymore. I wish they did. They're kind of a cross between the typical page protectors that you would buy at an office store and a photo page. They have this really nice lining, and they just lay really nice, and they stay nice too. They don't get a lot of the office ones, whatever they're made out of, gets scratched up and kind of weird looking, and these ones don't. They don't sell them anymore, and I don't have enough to do the whole album. You'll see what I did when I ran out. Okay, so I started each year. Every year we had a t-shirt for the year for the team, and it had the year on it, so I cut out the label. And then also at the very beginning of the school year, we always had professional, personal, and team pictures taken. And the first year I was on JV, so here is all of that, the team picture and the personal pictures. And then I have, these are also a little memorabilia pocket that I don't think Creative Memories sells these anymore, but maybe they sell something similar. And it has the pins for the year, different competitions. We got pins that we could eventually put on our Letterman jacket. And then I made a bullet pointed list for the main things that we did every year. So I'm not sure if you can see, but like this says Orange and White Night, Fall Festival, Christmas routine, JV games, pep assemblies. Those were the main things that we did for that year. And then this is kind of like a highlight list. And then I went through and made pages for all of those things. And I'm sure that this writing, I'm not sure if that's coming up on camera at all, is written in orange. It's super hard to read even in person. And it's also, like I said, I think the start of this album was started at least 15 years ago, maybe more. So it has actually worn. And there came a point where I stopped writing in colored ink, but that was a thing at one point with Creative Memories. So, and I don't have, this was back, these pictures were taken in the 90s, and things were just different back then. We didn't have phone cameras. We didn't have really good cameras. So you'll see I don't have a ton of pictures, and the pictures I have aren't really that great, but I tried to make an album from what I had to remember it. So, and then I kept newspaper articles. This one was from our school newspaper, but you'll see I also kept some from the local newspaper. And this one I backed with a black textured paper. But so that was the Orange and White Night, the clinic that we taught. This was the Fall Dance Festival and tryouts. And this was, I guess this was our school paper as well. These were all things that were on the bulleted list. And this is a way that I included newspaper articles while making them part of a layout. I think it's kind of cute. And so these actual these are actual pieces of newspaper, and they're from the 90s. So what does that make them? 30 years old now, and they're fine. They haven't worn at all. So, and then so that's all for JV. And then you'll see again. So this is the next year. This was our t-shirt for the year, my personal pictures. I just have to say we had a professional photographer, and yet we're totally looking right into the sun. So not the greatest professional photographer, but then our team picture, and then our bulleted list again. This time the list is a little bit longer because it wasn't JV, it was varsity. So, but we again have the orange and white night and our Blazers routine. We did a halftime routine for the Blazers, who were back in the 90s. Big thing, they were kind of in their heyday. And then our Little Shop of Horrors was our state routine, and it goes on. The light show in the dark was the last thing, so there's that. And then again, we have orange and white night, which was, I'm not sure if I have a page for every year, but that was something our school did every year to kick off the sports season in the fall. And this time I have a photo in uniform, but also a little bit of memorabilia. Again, it's kind of coming out, but it's in another kind of memorabilia pocket that they had. And then some more. So this time, this one might be the school newspaper, but this is the local Statesman Journal newspaper. So added the news again in there, and just adding a little bit of color behind the article kind of makes it stand out a little bit on the tan pages. I chose the tan pages because my school's colors were orange, gold, and brown. So my school was started in the 70s, and so those are just lovely colors. But the tan is a way of getting the brown in there, and the pictures generally look nice on it. So, okay, then this is a competition, and I just used really simple, the pre-made borders that I don't know if Creative Memory sells those anymore, but they used to sell these pre-made borders, which do make things really fast. I was looking, way back when I went to make this, I did want to make it really fast, and I'm not really sure what happened that I didn't just finish it, but because it just doesn't seem like it would take that long to finish it. But and then I made over here, these are pictures of our actual dance routine and the ribbon, but then I had these drill down pictures, and so I just put this squiggle line here and separate journaling, and I actually think that looks really nice. So, and then some more newspaper things. So like I said, we didn't have people did not take pictures like they do now. And so a lot of what I had was things that were in the newspaper and the yearbook. And this is something that I did every year. And now that I have lost at least one, maybe two of my high school yearbooks, I'm glad that I photocopied these and cut them out. And I think at the time I did that because I had thousands of kids in my high school. And so the yearbook, so much of it didn't pertain to me. And so I kind of copied some of the things that did and put them in my own scrapbook or yearbook of sorts, I guess. But so again, just added some simple star punches and things. And then, I guess anyway, it's interesting that this picture is here. That was one of my favorite captains, and she has actually passed away, so it's funny that she's the only one whose picture is there. And then this was our Blazer dancers routine. So this one, this was a cutout that they had, but you couldn't see. It's just tan, and it was embossed a tiny bit. You really couldn't see it at all. So I traced over it with pen. So it makes it look like I drew it. I didn't really draw it, but yeah. And then this one, these are Creative Memory stickers from way back in the day. And those are nice stickers. I don't think they're the Mrs. Grossman's. I will say the Mrs. Grossman ones are kind of cheesy, and these ones look nicer. And then this was just a simple thing, just a way to make a simple journaling box. Just draw a square, and then I'm pretty sure I had little pencil lines because my writing is straight. Okay, another competition. And then we had a ton of awards and things. I mean, they gave us printouts. That was the 90s. They gave us printout awards for everything. Now that's just kind of silly, but it's what they did. And I kept a bunch of them. So, yeah. And then this is the first start of where I hadn't finished, I guess, because I have these additional jewels to put somewhere. I put one here, and I have this title that actually looks pretty cool, but I have the date here, so I guess I need to put the date on there, and maybe I needed to find a place to put these bedazzled things. I'm not sure how well you can even see those pictures. They're so dark, and the lovely date on all of them. That was not made for people that are scrapbooking, because then you've got this orange date everywhere. And in some of my albums, I've gone through and tried to put some type of a sticker or something over that, but there comes a point where that looks weird too. Like, why do you have labels over everything? I guess if I had it to do over, I could have cropped them here and made the whole thing smaller. But then you also wouldn't really have been able to see the Staten label on the floor there. So, and then, okay, so that was the last thing that was completely done. And then I'll just quickly go through. You can see that I have, according to the bulleted list, I have the light show, and then I have a pocket that has all of our state stuff. And then, again, it was the 90s. I don't think they do this anymore, but we used to make locker signs and things and put them on people's lockers. That was a big thing. So I cut out a lot of those. And we had secret pals that would give us cards and things. So I kept a lot of that memorabilia. And this page is mostly done. It just needs a title. But again, this was our t-shirt. And because it was a plant thing, we had plants. But these photos came from the yearbook. So I guess that's an idea. If you don't have photos of something of yourself or your kids, a lot of times school things that the schools send out, like newsletters or yearbooks, have photos, and at least that way you'll get them. And then this is the start of the next year. So there's my t-shirt. And then I had all these borders that I think I made at some point. So these are my school colors. They're horrible, but that's my school colors. And then just a little camera. I was really looking for it to be super simple. I wanted it to focus on the pictures, but this goes according to my formula. So it says team picture, highlights, which is that bulleted list, t-shirt logo, and personal photo. And then, you know, our locker signs and things. I spread them out. I thought instead of having one huge place where there's all these locker signs, I tried to put one in between each thing. So, and then this was a fan. I had a friend that liked to be our #1 fan and make us things and stuff, so I was going to make a page about that. And then our programs and awards. I just split all this stuff up. There's one between each thing. So again, competitions and yearbooks, more competitions. But then I have Secret Sister. That was a big thing back then. Maybe they still do that, I don't know. State competition, that must have been junior year. And then, yeah, so that was junior year, and I happened to have a lot of seniors that I was friends with, and I have a lot of their pictures. Another thing that I don't know that they even do anymore, it used to be a huge thing that you would buy with your senior pictures, these little tiny ones that you would give to people, and you would get hundreds of them. So you would give them to everybody. I don't know that people even do that anymore. But I have those. And then, so then this is senior year, and it's, you know, team picture, highlights, personal photo, t-shirt. Camp, I went to camp that year. Then our competitions, and I still have the things that I've already put in here. So that's help. I mean, everything is all organized. I have the Post-it notes to say what goes there. It has the dates, and all the memorabilia is already put in the pockets. This was something that I made for a class. We did a 50s routine, but this was as if I was in, okay, so I went to high school before computers. I mean, they existed, but they weren't accessible to the average person. So pre-computer days. This is what we did. I took a photo and photography and yearbook layout class. And this was one of my projects that I made that I was so proud of. I drew these dance shoes and I didn't take these photos because I'm in them, but I developed them in our photography lab. And then, well, some of them I took. The Halloween and the license plate one I may have taken. And this is all from 30 years ago, so I'm not concerned about, like, yes, you could look any of this information up on the internet, but what you would find out is where I lived and who I knew 30 years ago. So anyway, I'll put that in later. Okay. And then it just goes on, more locker signs, more memorabilia. And then for some reason I did put this one down. Oh, I think because this was when we became a sport. And so that was a big deal. We had to fight for that. So I'd put that one in an actual memorabilia thing on the page. And then this is what I have. So I have some pre-cut out letters that I bought at some point to write out, I think, Olympians is our school mascot. I actually don't even know if that's still their mascot. I know even way back when they were trying to change it. Maybe they succeeded at some point. I have a whole bunch of pre-cut out paper. These ones are really nice for journaling. It's already got the lines on there. And then I have a few more memorabilia things, ribbons, pre-cut out triangles. That was a big thing. I have a few. I think I was using some of these sketches for laying out the papers. I'm not really sure. And then at some point in time, I bought this, and I've already used a few, but when scrapbook stores, local scrapbook stores were still kind of a thing, our local scrapbook store made these for all of our local high schools. We have like 5 local high schools. And so I had bought that. That was way after I graduated, but I've already used a couple. I might use the rest. And then I think I have a few more. These are super helpful too. You just peel it off and put them down. It's so simple, but you can make classic, timeless pages super fast. And a whole bunch more, way more than I would ever need. These I bought all pre-cut, and I have no idea why I have so many. I think I do have some journaling boxes that came with their little quick kits. And I think people may have, when I was part of a scrapbooking group, given me these because especially the brown and the orange are just not colors that people really use. So they're like, oh, you can use that for your album. Okay, so then I do have already organized. This is what I originally had. I think I started scrapbooking in high school, but I want to say I didn't start using creative memories or anything where they were concerned about preservation or, I don't know, layout. This was a totally different type of scrapbooking. I think a lot of people, when scrapbooking first became popular, this is kind of what they did, especially if they were high schoolers who didn't really have the access to Creative Memories products. But anyway, so everything was put in pages. I think originally a lot of the pictures were on those magnetic pages, and then I pulled those out after just a couple years. As soon as I started doing things with Creative Memories, I knew that that was horrible for my stuff. So I pulled them out and put them in these page protectors, which are the ones that you just get at the office. And I have labels. Everything was very organized. You know, team picture, state stuff. So really, it should be, especially since I'm doing everything super simple, it should be really fast to go through and finish this. See, these are those senior pictures. And then I have some just quick notes about what I wanted to include, the basic information. And yeah, all that's in there. It's all organized. It's all ready to go. I don't really know why. I'm wondering if I was maybe in the middle of this before one of our big moves, and then it just got packed away and never got brought out. So I will make another video for later in August to show after I've actually put all this in, and I'm gonna take a guesstimate, even though it's all organized and everything. Sometimes it's surprising how long it takes. So I'm gonna say maybe 6 to 8 hours worth of work. So if I even just sit here one night and do this, I can get it all done, and it'll be really nice to have this album all done.